Here are over 15 games no one is really talking about that are gonna be at Essen Spiel 2022. And I think you guys should give them a try if you get the chance. Let's go. Phraya. Trade and speculate while sailing on the canals of the ancient floating market of Bangkok, Thailand. A beautiful, stunning pick up and deliver game for 2 to 4 players in which players trade from stall to stall while trying to get the best prices and make offerings in the temple to win favor. That one was actually on GameFound, and they're gonna have a few extra copies for sale at Essen Spiel. So if that sounds like your kind of game, then make sure to pick up a copy. Space Kraken, a mainly solo game where you and your space crew hunt down the Space Kraken. This is a rogue-like science-fi dungeon crawl game full of science fiction adventures where you can upgrade your spaceship and level up your crew. A game master will guide you through your various storylines that develop in peril. The game is made for all RPG, science fiction, and tactical game fans who want to recruit their own space crew to escape from Earth and discover the dark system of the Space Kraken. Now that one actually sounds like a really great game, but if you're not a solo player, you can play this game at 2 players. It just becomes more of a cooperative experience. And if you play up to 4 players, then this becomes more of a 1 versus many type of game. Revive. Now let me know if this one sounds like your type of game. Asymmetrical player powers, highly replayable setup, no fighting or direct conflict, and the goal of the game is to gain the most amount of victory points. Lead your tribe to explore the frozen earth, harness its resources, and recruit surface survivors to your cause. Build factories with powerful machines and populate the ancient sites to relearn your tribe's forgotten technologies. Now this game is not really about fighting, but this next game is all about raiding. So you gotta check it out. Viking Raiders. Our Viking card take that game where you try to raid in order to gain the most amount of victory points. Now I actually covered this one on the channel. If you want to learn more about it, I'll have a link to that video down in the description box down below, right next to the like button. So make sure you hit that if you guys are enjoying the video. Now let's move on to the next game. Tribes of the Wind, a game where you use the back of your component's cards to play your actions. Players will have to plant forests, build new villages and temples, and decontaminate the surrounding areas. Along the game, you will manage to complete some objectives that will allow you to unlock your guide's special abilities and to improve your tribe's powers. A cute, beautiful looking card game with a twist. Now, if you ever heard about the 12 labors of Hercules and thought you could do that, well, not really because that's impossible, but now you can with this next game. But instead of testing your strength, you are testing your math skills. Hercules. Players will roll the dice to perform mathematical operations in order to complete the legendary 12 labors of Hercules. Being the first to complete these challenges won't be enough to claim victory. Ultimately, the winner will be the player who can earn the most points from their cards, cubes, and extra bonuses that they gained from doing math. And for all you Greek nerds out there, I know it's actually pronounced Heracles, not Hercules. But that is what the publisher is calling it, so that is what I'm calling it too. Human Punishment: The Beginning. Fight for mankind against the machines in this epic semi-cooperative social deduction game. This is a prequel to the Human Punishment social deduction game 2.0 for 3 to 6 players. Do your best to avoid the secret machines revolution because there are machine spies everywhere and they are trying to corrupt the human players. There are also Outlaws, Fallen, and Legion. Those are the different factions and each factions have their own goals. Now what's really cool about this one, if you already own Human Punishment, you can actually combine the 2 games if you wish to do so. And I think that's pretty cool. Cora Quest and Cora Quest Keep On Questing, the expansion. A smash hit among families, this is a simple and easy to learn dungeon crawl game. The expansion will feature a campaign and new level ups among with 10 new adventures and environments with loads more heroes, enemies, and treasure. This one is actually hitting Kickstarter fairly soon, mid-October. I'll have a sign up link for it down below if you wish to sign up for it. And I also talk about it more in my top 10 family games of all time. I'll have that link down below also. Now next up, I have a big box game that everybody is actually talking about, but trust me, you don't want to miss out. Deal with the Devil. 4 players, 3 hidden roles, 2 opposing paths. Become either a mortal, a cultist, or even the devil. With asymmetrical abilities, the players can experience the same game, but with different game goals every time they play. The bidding phase is where most actions happen where players can offer their resources in exchange for money from other players. The devil will tempt mortals with goods for pieces of their soul, while the cultist's nature is to sell their soul easily. Every choice has a consequence and each role has its own unique strategy to explore. Now next up, I have a beautiful looking game with deluxe components that's been popping up all over social media. So make sure to grab yourself a copy before it is sold out. Flamecraft. In Flamecraft, 1 to 5 players take on the role of Flamekeepers, gathering items, placing dragons, and casting enhancements to enhance the shops of the town. Dragons are specialized in different resources such as bread, meat, iron, crystal, plant, and potions. Flamekeepers know which shops are the best home for each. The goal of the game is to gain reputation, and you do that by gaining favor with the dragons. My Shelfie, a game about players who can organize their shelf the best. You have different kinds of tiles to place on your shelf, such as books, board games, portraits, etc. Tiletum, a dice management game in which the dice have a dual function, gaining resources and performing actions. A certain number of dice will be rolled each round, and on your turn, choose a die to gain that number of corresponding resources equal to the value of that die, and then perform the associated action. In this game, the fewer resources you gain, the more powerful the actions you can take, and vice versa, making for some really interesting gameplay. Now everyone again has been talking about this one, but it's another game I feel like you don't want to miss out on, and it's probably a game that might be sold out if they're all selling copies. So make sure to check this one out right away. It sounds like it's going to be a great dice management game. Tidal Banner Festival. Generate the most profit by trading and selling goods. Befriend the right supplier and make bets at the watercraft race. This is an area control trick-taking game based off the Tidal Blades universe. Now I'm actually a huge fan of Tidal Blades. I love the artwork, I love the characters, I love the storytelling of this world. And if you are too, then this might be a game that you want to pick up. Castles of Mad King Ludwig, the Collector's Edition. A big amazing tile laying game where you build out different rooms in order to score points. With a master builder that changes every single round, the Collector's Edition also adds all the expansions available for the game in one giant box. If you ever wanted to build your own castle with amazing components, this is the game for you. Check it out before it gets sold out. Now, who doesn't love a good Lord of the Rings game? And this one is just a simple card game, but the theme really comes across. One player is playing as the good guys, one player is playing as the bad guys. You can play with more players, but I heard the reviews so far says it's best played at 2. Now, we made it to my final 3 games, and if there are only 3 games that you guys should check out at Essen, you should definitely check out these ones. The Wolves. A strategy game about building a wolf pack for 2 to 5 players. It's the survival of the fittest out there as players compete to build the largest, most dominant wolf pack. This game has a clever action selection mechanic that will drive your choices. Each action requires you to flip a terrain tile matching the terrain where you wish to take your action. As you take actions to expand your pack's control of each region, you will also need to upgrade your pack's attributes, allowing you to take more aggressive actions as the game goes on. This one is actually being produced by Pandasaurus Games, which has been making some fantastic games. It's definitely worth checking this one out. It might be a hit or miss for you, but it looks like it's going to be a great game. Oathsworn. In Oathsworn, players will have to focus on narrative choices and rich miniature combat encounters. Each game session sees players participate in a multi-path gamebook where the story unfolds into encounters. The encounters are scripted boss fights on the encounter board where players have to outwit and play against an AI-driven monsters and enemies. There is a push your luck combat system of exploding dice where players have a chance to hit harder but potentially miss their attack. Now, I'm sure everyone by now has heard about Oathsworn. It's everyone's new favorite RPG-like boss battle type of game. It just looks insanely good, and it's actually coming back to Kickstarter here in October with some new expansions and some extra goodies. Some things to help balance out the game more, so I'll also have a link for that down below if you want to check it out, especially if you miss it at Essen Spiel, but I believe they're going to have a few extra copies there, but it's probably going to sell out really fast. Runar by Ludus Magnus Studios, a competitive board game for 1 to 4 players. Each player leads a group of 3 Viking heroes who must survive the icy northern lands populated by strange and dangerous creatures, also while attempting to recover mythical relics, gems, and precious divine objects. At the end of each game, the heroes will evolve and gain upgrades in the form of powerful magical items and divine artifacts. Each player must prepare their Vikings to the best of their abilities to prove that they are leading the most valiant group of heroes. Now, I'm not too sure if this is coming to Kickstarter by the end of the year or early next year, but it looks like it's going to have some fantastic miniatures. It looks like it's going to be a really good Viking game, which I'm absolutely stoked for because I love Viking games. So make sure to check out their booth and let me know what games you guys are looking forward to at Essen Spiel in the comment section down below. Check out this video right here to learn about more upcoming Kickstarter games, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.